Alright, yo. Alright, what's good? So here's today's recap. I'll just skip like 10 minutes. So basically, alright, let's look. So it's like, I don't even know if I would consider that ceiling going down. Low key. I mean, maybe we rejected 75-10, but like SPY's just in the middle of a range. QQQ's in an air pocket, kinda. I don't even know if I would trade this. Michigan. Lots of puts coming in on SPX. Like 40 mil. Damn. Damn. Lots of puts. Okay, so here, I think this is shortable. So it goes from 75.45, 75.40 down to this 75.35. So you also have this. Wait, when does this 74.70 pop up? Or is it there all day? Okay, it's all day. But you have the 74.70 that pops up. So let's say like right here. So what time is this? So 9:48. So you took the 74.90s. So is it 9:48? Okay, so average price paid is 9 is the high of that candle. So $9. So holy flow. Alright, so let's see. 74.70 is still lit up. You want to see how it reacts to this. 74.90. So even right here. Damn, that's the same minute. So we're kind of have this like breakdown on Qs if it can't hold this 703. Okay. Is it going to hold or no? Okay, so Q's just absolutely barfs this up. So this is very bearish. Because if you look over here, there's just nothing holding us. And as SPY loses to 747, 746, like there's nothing holding it. So right now, like if you break to 745, like holy nuke. Oops. Sorry, I apologize. And you have this 74.30 that pops up. Yeah, so you see this 74.30 absolutely jumps. So right now, I would say your bias is bearish. Mainly because Q's air pocket down to like this 698. SPY's is ceiling at 747. So if you miss this, you can also short this retest. And this retest is 74.90. So this would be a really nice move to reshort. Even if you just get to 74.90. But you also have this rug on QQQ that is like getting stronger and stronger. If you look, the opacity of the node, it's increasing. Also, one thing to understand is like as these nodes fade out, like this just nukes. So we reject the ceiling on SPX. Testing the dark pool doesn't do anything. Okay, so 74.70. I'd say like this is your first trim at 10.12. So 10.12. The low of that candle was $22. If you held for the reject, so what is this? 10.15. That cannot be right. 10.15. Okay, so then it was still $20. So we reject the dark pool. We're starting to nuke here on SPY. SPY plops in the 742. QQQ has a 696 and a 695. But I'm assuming we're going to get some rejection from the 74.70, right? So what time is this? So 10:21. So contracts, let's say you got in at $10, which is very bearish outlook. So that's 150% right there. And then, so you see the 7490 is still lit up, right? So, I mean, we can still, like the 745 is kind of starting to hold. QQQ still has this pull upward. So, I think we're going to see a little bit of a counter trend. Maybe a rejection of this dark pool on SPY. I still think like there's just nothing on SPX here. But you did get a dark pool rejection on SPY. You did get a rug on QQQ. So this could play out for lower, but I don't like what SPX is doing because it can just chop in here. So I wouldn't trade this. But I mean, this 7430 is still grown. Like that thing done matured through puberty by this point. Like if you break the 7470, like you're gone until like 7450. They kind of slip in this floor here. I caught this live. So look. This was a banger. Let me open up the Q's chain real quick. So you see them slipping this floor on QQQ. And there's basically nothing lower on SPX. And SPY. So here you kind of have to anticipate that this is an overshoot of the 7470, right? And that eventually, like, we're going to come back above it. Because they've been doing this lately. They did it twice last week on SPY. Where they sell it under, like, the floor. And then they bring it back up. But so here they slip in the Q's node pause. So 698. So let's say like the 700 contract. So what time is this? 11? Alright. I just paused the recording to find it. But the 700 contract off this floor slipping pause. But even if you look, like they moved up the ceilings from 703 to 705. So like at 11 o'clock, contracts are trading at $1.50. So even if you sold into this 745 at 1103, that's still like 25%. Holy shit, that was a crazy candle. I will admit this is hard to hold through this. So like if you got scared, like I don't even blame you. But you have the 705 lighting up on Q's. You do have this Pika stack on SPY. But you have this nice road up to 74.90. So I would say like it wasn't a great trade, but I mean you take what you can get. Then they kind of try and slip in the 700 node on QQQ. Kind of accepting above the 745. They slip in the 701 pause. And then they build this reverse rug on QQQ, which was beautiful. So assuming you're still in the 700s from here. 1133. So if you held from here, your contracts have doubled. If you get in on this 701 tap, you're up 10%. So, I mean, it's really just pick your poison. But you do start to see a reject of the 746. But lately, reverse rugs have been super dangerous. So I would not short this reverse rug. And actually, I longed more on that candle. Even though it did go on a drawdown. So let's say you filled here, right? Got a bad fill. 1151. So right here, contracts are worth 230. And then we get this nice little reverse rug up into the 74.90. So this is where I sold my contracts. I had a couple runners, but I sold most of mine at 74.90. What was this, 1154? So 230. So 230 to like $3. So it wasn't the greatest of work. But like it was nice. And I had some runners, right? I had to go run an errand. So it was like 20, 30%. And then it had this nice candle and I sold all my runners there for like 50%. But like, it's hard. And then you get to 747 ceiling tap, which is beautiful. I wasn't on for this, but that was insane. Plus, you got this 701 king on cues. This was so obvious. I wish I had seen this. But look, so here, back it up 1 minute. Overshooting the king node. Lots of downward pressure down the 7470, right? 747 king node, ceiling, right? QQQ, 705. It's not quite there, but they are slipping in the ceiling. Pause. You also got the 701 king node, which is not let up. So this tells us we might see some downside. Drill team 6, kind of plopping this node here. It's kind of ruggy, super ruggy, insanely ruggy. Almost as ruggy as a meme coin. And then you get this reverse rug again on QQQ. So, I mean, holy news candle. Alright. Whoa. Pause. Holy shit. Alright. Honestly, like, yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna just see what happens. They gotta switch up this Q's map a little bit. Okay. So they moved it back down to 701. But I would say, like, the reverse rug and the rug, they're, like, contradicting. But I do think, like, if they sell this down to 7470, like, we're gonna be below 701. And SPY's still positive gamma. So, honestly, this is a no trade for me, especially right after a news candle. Kind of slipping this floor here on SPX, so I might get a little bounce. Negative bounce. Just kidding, I'm washed. They got this 698 lit up on Q's. Yeah, I'm washed. Really want this 7460. And it's 7440 and 7430 light up. So, I wasn't trading at this time. I was still, I think I was at the gym at this point. But you have a nice 701 ceiling and a nice 745 ceiling. You have all this positive gamma lower. So that means like you short a 701 or a 745 tap, especially when the majority of the day is like downward shape like this. Like sometimes you just have to short the pops. So I definitely say like if you get a 745 or a 701 tap, this is shortable. Not even a decent tap is crazy in this economy, bro. Holy. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. There was no good entry there. I'm not even gonna count it. Doesn't count. You might be able to short this 7-0 run retest, but I'd be salty for missing this 7-0. Wait, do we get to 701? Oh my gosh. Nah, I wouldn't consider it. But, okay, we get to 745, so I'd consider this a short. Hold up. Park the bus. So let's go look at this 700 put. So what time is this? 1 o'clock. $2 o'clock. Just kidding. I'm stupid. Holy. Okay, so here we go. Contracts were trading at $1.10. Holy shit. They just chopped premiums for 9 minutes. So 745 ceiling. This is really like this is driving the bus right now. 701's kind of overshooting, but like this Pika stack on Q's is crazy. This positive gamma on SPY is crazy. So once we break this, whatever this is on Q like SPX, like we just nuke. So I will admit there was a lot of theta right there. So that was very suboptimal. Like once the trade gets going, it doesn't really stop. So yeah, contracts did go like negative 45%. So that was rough. But I will say the thesis never really changed. So then we get this another rug breakdown, whatever you want to call it. Like it happened earlier in the day too. It might have been here. Yeah, it was here. So boom, can't hold the floor, right? You can't hold the positive node. So what? Rug it down. Okay. Repeated the setup, right? Right here, they held it. But here, it looks like it's going to nuke. Just kidding, I don't know ball. Like, you have all this positive gamma lower. Holy nuke. Oh my, drill team 6. Okay, was this bottom catchable? Okay, me personally, I probably would have waited for this 742 to hit. It didn't hit. I don't think I would have caught this. I probably wouldn't have caught this, honestly. I would have been too picky. But, yeah, honestly, this is just no trade for me right here. After catching this 701, I'd probably be geeked. There's nothing to trade here. I mean, all this positive gamma just screams lower. Like, I don't know. Premiums moved crazy weird today. I don't even know if I would trust all of this. Then, okay, here, wait, whoa. So, boom. All right, this is important. I don't know how I missed this. So, look at the 744. They nuked the 744 50 mil. They increased the 742 20 mil. So now we have all three king nodes to the downside. So now there's a large pull to the downside. And we know how price behaves in all positive. It just wants to go down, right? Because the market makers are net exposed like long gamma. So this is all long gamma. So they're going to want to flush it. Especially when you're seeing like VIX spiking. So they're going to want to start to flush it, right? You even got this 7430 popping up. Like, you have all of these nodes to downside. This 744 is getting absolutely crushed. You've got this 699 for a second. But, like, this 695 is just blaring. Small bounce off of 7440. But, like, everything right here is screaming downside. And then they put SPY below 742. And they just slip in the ceiling pause. And they just... never mind. I think that was the news candle. So, I mean... I would have gotten fried there, but... I don't even think I would short the daily bottom, but maybe I would. That was the news candle, though, so... Yeah, after 2 p.m., I don't know if this is even tradable. But this is just mock, too. Wait, is that just mock? Maybe I don't know ball. Yeah, that was just mock, never mind. I don't know why I didn't think it was mock. Alright, today was definitely frustrating. The premiums move weird, but I think there were a couple trades you could have taken. This is a little bit of a longer video just because, like, it's kind of a confusing day, so I hope this helps. I'll see you guys tomorrow.